Hello, my name is Owen, and welcome to the top of another month. It is the top of August 2023. You know, I like to give you guys an update where I'm at in my reading journey. I'm going through some big life shifts at the moment, so I'm going to be honest with you. Last month, I was very bold. I promised a lot of nonfiction, and I got through some books, guys. I did get through some books. However, I was certainly overambitious, to say the least. And I was considering just moving those books into the start of this month and just keep going with the track, just keep them the same. But then I thought that I don't want to do that because I was willing to devote 1 month to nonfiction, a lot of nonfiction books. However, 2, I don't know about that. Really, the only book that's going to be cut or pushed back because of that is going to be my Eric Larson book that I was going to read. But we'll get into that. So I added a couple books to this list that I didn't mention in the last book. We're trying to start fresh, but I'm not promising big things this month. Like I said, I'm going through a lot of major life shifts, so my time to read has plummeted, certainly. So I'm not being very ambitious. I'm gonna guarantee 3 books will be finished this month, and if I start another book after that, that'll be whoa, that's pretty amazing if I start a 4th book. And that being said, there are 4 books on this list that I say I'm going to read this month. So, I like to speak out of both sides of my mouth. That way I always come out on top. So, the first thing that I'm currently reading, I'm about halfway through Dan Jones's nonfiction medieval history book, The Plantagenets. That is about that family of that line of English kings and their exploits, their moments in history and how they shaped England, how it is today. If you're familiar at all with my channel, you know that Essex Dogs, Dan Jones's fiction foray, was a disappointment to me. I wanted more out of it, but I didn't get it. But I had a hunch that I would like his nonfiction. Certainly the case. I'm very much enjoying the book so far. Like I said, I'm about halfway into it. I really enjoy his writing style. It's crisp. It's easy to follow. It's very storytelling, strong. As you can see, I have a way with words. It's very good storytelling, very easy to read, very engaging, and I think it's just a fascinating period of history. So I'm really enjoying that. Halfway through that, and because it's nonfiction, necessarily there's a little bit slower, so it'll probably be a couple of weeks until I finish that and I release a review. As always, I'm still working my way through my Malazan Book of the Fallen reread, so it's month 3, so I'm on Memories of Ice. I'm already almost 200 pages into that, and the first weekly video will be released this week for that, so I'm chugging away at that. So those are the 2 books that I'm reading currently, but I'm also listening to a 3rd book, Lonesome Dove. This was recommended by the much larger than me booktube channel, Mike's Book Reviews. He's one of the channels that I quite enjoy, and he recommended this book, I think it was a couple of months ago when he first mentioned it, maybe even more. But I saw it relatively recently. It's a long, epic Western. And he said the only reason it wasn't his number 1 of all time was because he just read it, don't want to do recency bias stuff. But he was speaking very, very highly of it. So I thought I'd give it a try, even though I don't think I've ever read a proper Western before, because the closest I got would be The Dark Tower, and the really Western book in that, the first one, was kind of horrible, and I didn't enjoy it at all. So it's a new genre for me, and it is a behemoth. Like I said, I'm listening to audiobook, and I'm enjoying it. It's just that it's 37 hours long. So it's just a monster. So I've been chugging away at that. So that'll be finished this month. And for the 4th book, so I'm reading 3 at the same time, right? The goal is to they will be staggered finished. Hopefully the nonfiction's finished first because I've been reading that for a while. Then probably Lonesome Dove, then Memories of Ice at the end of the month because of how I spaced that out. But it is the bonus book because, it's never enough. You always got to set your goals really high. I'm also planning on reading A Court of Thorns and Roses. I believe that's what it's called, the Sarah J. Maas book. And I know what you guys are thinking. Really? Really? You're going to read that? Yes, I am. Extraordinarily popular book, a popular fantasy book, but also widely criticized. A lot of people hate this book, but it sells extremely well, which means one of 2 things. The book is horrible, and I'm going to hate it, or it's just going to be fine. It's going to be fine. But, you know, even though I don't think it's going to be to my taste, because from what I've heard, it's quite raunchy, to say the least. And like I said, for my Colleen Hoover review, can't say I really enjoy reading that type of stuff, but I do like to read what's popular. I like to have my finger on the pulse of society, and this is an extraordinarily popular book and popular series. Will I read the whole series? Can I find a better way to spend with my time? But who knows, all right? I'm not going to be negative. I'm going to go in with an open mind. That's why I'm reading it. I don't expect that I'll love it, but honestly, I don't expect that I'll hate it either. I think I'll be very neutral on it, which is fine, which is a victory. If I read something and I'm neutral on it, I invested all that time and I'm not like angry, it's a win in my book. So we're gonna give it a chance. I've been on the wait list on Libby for that book for like 3 or 4 months, I think. It might have been a little bit shorter than that, but I finally got the notification that I'm ready to like start renting it. So I'll have it for 3 weeks. Whether or not I can finish in that time period, we'll see. I have no idea how long it is or if it'll be entertaining or gripping at all. But we're going to try our best. We're going to try to sneak that one in there. I should get that delivery. I scheduled it for like next week. So I'll start reading it then so I can finish it before it expires. But yeah, that's all I got so far. I really did want to start the Live Ship Traders trilogy by Robin Hobb. I know I mentioned it last month that I would start it by the end of July. So like right now I'd be reading it. I just didn't get to it, and even though I'm itching to get back to Hobb and her farcier world, I just can't fit it in right now. Next month. September is the month. You know, it'll be fall, a little bit chillier, start to get chilly by the end of the month. You know, nothing better than a nautical story to warm you up. So I think I'm going to save it for next month. But we'll see. We'll see how these goals shape up. I think I could definitely finish 3 out of these 4. And I think I could start the 4th as well. So you know what? I'm feeling good about this month. I'm feeling optimistic about life in general. Life is great. Life is glorious. I'm having a good old time. Let me know in the comments what you guys are reading. You guys recommend me great books all the time. And then I always ignore them. Not purposefully, just the way of the world, you know, because there's too many books that exist. But I still want to know. I want to know, because you know what? I care. I care. You can't say that about every YouTuber, but you know what? I'm different. And that's why you should like and subscribe. Oh boy, I have too much fun, guys. Someone try to stop me from having too much fun. Thanks for sticking around.